Good morning. God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. There are going to be some people in your life that are going to live your past better than you did. They're going to bring up your past. They're going to still be associated with people from your past. They're going to try to tell you about or remind you about your past. There are going to be some people who live in your past, and they're going to live in it better than you did when you was there. But let me tell you something. A lot of times when people live in your past, that's because they don't want to address what's going on in their lives. They're associated or attached to people who they didn't even talk to when the person was in your life. They are linking up with people to have conversations about what's going on with you. They are gathering together. But let me tell you something that will be a blessing to you. Good morning, Jackie. What something that will be a blessing to you is when you make up in your mind that you don't live there anymore. See, the one thing that I loved about our family trips and our gatherings when we would go to the country every year is that we would drive by the places where my great-grandmama's house used to be. And we would drive by like where the store used to be. And we would go to little places. And so the good part about all of that, good morning, Cheryl, is that when you are driving to these places, notice that some of these things are no longer there, or if they are there, they have rotted, or like the country house that we would pass by, it did no longer have windows in it. And so people can reminisce all they want to. But when I looked at the house, I knew nothing about it. So I had to just listen to it. Now I'm finna tell you a little story. This gonna help you today to go on to greater things. When I was the rider, because I was not there, all I did was listen to the stories. And I was able to take from the stories whatever the storyteller was telling me about my great-grandmama and my grandmama growing up at these particular places. But I noticed when they would talk about these places, people had different versions of what this place was like when they were there. They had different stories to tell. Each individual had a different recollection of what the past was like. And it taught me a lesson, I promise y'all. And I'm talking about something that happened when I was younger. But it helped me now that I'm grown. Good morning, Toria. So we riding and they talking about these places. And like I said, different people have different recollections of what the past used to be like. Good morning, DJ Grady, baby. But there I listen. And so let me tell you what I got a problem with. I got a problem with when people tell about my past. Because your recollection of it may not be the same as my recollection of it. Your tears may not be the same. You might not have even cried then. You may have been the person causing the problem, and I may have been the victim of the problem. And so what I learned back then as a child, that there are going to be two sides to every story. Actually, three. The truth is in the middle somewhere. And not saying that I'm not going to tell the truth about my past, but I'm going to tell it based on how I perceived it and how I recollect it, right? And how I gathered it. So when I see people now who are still friends with people who I used to sleep with, or who I used to hang with, or who I used to be with, when I see people now who wasn't even really close to those folks, I ask myself, how do you have an attachment to my past, and why? And that thing used to bother me real bad, because I'd be like, well, y'all wasn't friends like that when I was with them. So how did you get close to my past? Why are you still attached to my past? And let me tell you, for a long time, I used to get angry. But now I'm finna help somebody. Y'all know how we do it on Truth Feels Hurt. Now I'm finna help somebody. It don't matter who's holding on to your past. It doesn't matter as long as you ain't stuck in it. As long as you're not stuck in it, as long as you're not trying to bring up old stuff, as long as you're not still damaging yourself with it, it doesn't matter who they bring. It don't matter who your family members with or friends with on Facebook. It don't even matter. It's when you allow your past to hold you hostage. Because anybody that wants to still be attached to your past when they wasn't attached to it when it was your present, it's something ain't right about that. But you ain't got time to figure that out. It's something ain't right about that because you asking yourself, you probably trying to figure it out. And I sat there for a long time trying to figure it out. Now, when the two people was there together and we did some stuff together and you still holding on to the stuff in the past, then I'm kind of concerned with you too. But I'm here to tell you that your past is chasing you. Your past is running behind you on your heel. Your past won't let you go forward sometimes. Your past is trying to hold you hostage in a situation. But you got to make up in your mind that I must push on and press on. It doesn't matter about what people are talking about. You can bring up what you want to bring up about me. If I'm more than likely going to tell the story better than you can tell it. I'm more than likely, because it's my stuff, going to be able to relay it and tell some details that you're not going to even have when I open up my mouth, since it was my situation. But people will bring up how you used to be. People will bring up what you used to do. People will come up with things that you did not do right. They will remind you of the things that you couldn't quite get right. Some people are not going to even let you grow. Some people will remind you of it even though you're coming out of the situation. Some people will snatch you, pull you back into some conversations. Anybody that is having a conversation with my past, I don't question the person from my past. I question the person having the conversation. Why are you listening to them? Why are you hanging out with my past? Why are you bringing this stuff up? And I know now that you're only bringing it up because you're doing it to damage me. You're doing it to hurt me. But guess what? There's a better person in the future. I'm bigger. I'm better. I'm wiser than I used to be. And so that's why it doesn't bother me. You can attach yourself to all kinds of leeches. You can bring up what you want to bring up. See, whom the Son has set free is free indeed. And when I tell you that, there's such a freedom. There's such a freedom when I'm no longer bothered by what you're talking about. I'm no longer disturbed by what you said, what you're doing. I get it. Now, some of you will say that, oh, it was just attached because the children, whatever, we want to make sure the children grown now. How come you ain't attached to the children and you ain't doing better stuff with the children? Having more conversations with the exes than you're having with the children. You see what I'm saying? Having more problems. Now, what I love about the past is that there are some stories being told that will explain why I am the way that I am and will make some things clearer to me about why I do what I do. There's some stories that are being told like that my grandmama used to write. And so now that explains why there's such a zeal inside of me. And so those are stories I want to hear. Those are stories I need. Those are stories I want to attach myself to. But if you all are having and gathering meetings, and y'all know I use myself for this. This ain't happening to me. This probably is. But I use myself. But if you are gathering to remind me of my flaws and remind me of my mistakes and remind me of the things that you didn't quite think was right, what's going to happen in your meeting? It's going to be like a Ku Klux Klan meeting when the masks come off. Once you are being revealed, then it's going to reveal that there's some stuff in your life that you should have been taking care of and some things that you should have been doing in your own life while you was trying to keep up with mine. There are going to be some tribulations and trials that are going to come your way, and you're not going to want somebody to bring up your stuff, and you're not going to want somebody to recall those things that you didn't quite so like yourself about you. And so I don't worry about it. I'm not doing any tit for tat. Don't even set up my life to where I even have the time. I want to make sure that people understand that I don't live there anymore. I don't live there anymore. I appreciate you bringing up that address. I appreciate you bringing up that telephone number. I don't live there anymore. I appreciate you telling me what my ex is doing. I appreciate, look, I appreciate it. It is what it is. I'm glad that you thought that I would care about, what their well-being is. They wasn't concerned about mine, but I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Just tell people y'all I appreciate it, and then go on about your business. Now, if that's a lie and you don't appreciate it, then don't say nothing crazy, because let me tell you what you do when you do get mad about it. It makes people think that you're upset. It makes people think that you're a hater when, you can't talk about the folks or whatever. And I just tell people I don't live there anymore. And because I don't live there anymore, I have no business in that kitchen. I have no business in that living room. The windows have rotted out in that house. That stuff has been deteriorated. That yard, I don't stand in that yard anymore. I'm not there anymore. And you just tell them I don't live there anymore. And then, don't even say po thing, or don't even get excited about it. I'm telling you, because folks think you celebrate what your past is doing. People think that you're excited about your past. People think that you're excited that your ex ain't about nothing and doing nothing. No, you ain't got time for that. You don't live there anymore. It's not your concern anymore. So because you don't live there anymore, you don't have to try to stop other people from living. They want to live in your past. Then, baby, let them go right on. Here, let them go right on, because you have greater things to do. You have projects that are unfinished. You have books and songs and things that you could be doing and tending to. You have a bright future that you could be looking towards, and you could be working towards and moving towards. You don't live there anymore. You don't have to entertain people, because I'm telling you, people will try to hold you hostage in your past. They will try to bring up your past. They will continue. And I promise you, I'm going to tell my past better than I promise you, I'm going to tell my story better than you. So it doesn't bother me anymore. It used to. And that's why I'm sharing with you this morning. It really did. It used to bother me. I would have to tell some of my family members, he can't come to the barbecue. I'm with somebody else. He can't. What you mean y'all invited? We don't have any kids together. I used to have to tell my family members. What you mean they coming over? What do you mean they call you? What are you talking about? Like, I haven't heard what you talking about. I'm telling you. Good morning, Arthur. Good morning, James. Good morning, Reggie. I think I hit everybody. But what do you mean they said? Why are you talking to him? When did y'all, you be confused. You start stuttering. When did y'all get together? What you talking about? And so I'm no longer bothered about that, because I have such a bright future. And there's so many things in store right now in the present, and so many things ahead that I'm focused. I'm focused on that. I'm keeping my eyes on the prize of the high calling in Jesus. I'm moving forward in Jesus' name. I'm not going back to the way I used to be. I'm not doing the things that I used to do. And so you just tell the people, just smile at them. Don't get mad. Like I said, don't raise your eyebrows. Don't start cussing and, acting foolish about what people are doing, stuck in your past. I'm telling you, because some of them just doing stuff to throw you off. Some of them, they're your close family members too, and then to confuse you. But some of them real close to you, and you like, well, when did they get to be friends? You see that they friends on Facebook, and you like, well, what? What? That ain't nothing but the enemy, just a distraction. Let them be friends with whoever they want to be friends with. Do whatever they want to do, long as you don't get snatched back in. Hear me? Long as you don't get snatched back in. So you tell yourself today, I don't live there anymore. I'm headed towards a better place, a better way, better direction, better things. And God is walking with me, so I cannot be pull back in. I cannot be distracted that way anymore. And so go on. Let them people be friends who they want to be friends with.